Hey, I'm Ryan with DIY Painting Tips. In this video, we're going to discuss the best kitchen cabinet paints to use. We're going to go over the difference between oil-based finishes, water-based finishes, hybrids, and even lacquers a little bit. Then I'm going to tell you my picks for my personal favorites. I've been painting kitchen cabinets for over 20 years now. I've done hundreds of sets of cabinets. So I have a few favorites. I have a few products I don't really like either. We're also going to discuss some primers that you can use that are very easy for the DIY painter. And we're going to go over which sheen looks best, which is the most durable, which is going to just give you the best looking kitchen. Kitchen cabinet painting isn't that complicated of a painting project. Yes, it takes a while. There's a lot of steps to it. But if you slow down and take your time, anyone can get a great finish, whether you're spraying, you're brushing, or even rolling your kitchen cabinets. You just need to know all the steps and all the products that are going to give you the best results. So first, the difference between oils and waters. When I first started painting kitchen cabinets, the only way to get a great looking durable finish was to use an oil-based finish. My personal favorite, I use satin and Impervo all the time. Impervo has a really high VOC content though. I believe it's somewhere in like the 450 grams per liter range. If you were only wearing a face mask, it would burn your eyes, it would get in through your ears, and it just was terrible on the body. The homeowners, when I was painting, would have to leave the house. Some would leave for a whole week and not come back till it was done. It was a great finished product, but it was bad for the environment and it was bad for me. About 10 years ago, I decided enough, my body isn't worth this anymore. I started looking for alternatives to oil-based finishes. Now, during this time, water-based finishes were a step behind oil. They just didn't have that same finish look that the oil did. They didn't have that same durability either. They did, however, dry faster. They had lower VOCs, typically 50 grams per liter or less, which is more like your standard wall paint. They were easier to clean up, where oil you need a paint thinner. So you're buying extra product, you're more VOCs with that paint thinner and everything, where the water base you can just take to the sink, wash it all out and be done. Then comes along hybrids, and really the simplest explanation of a hybrid is it's a cross between oil-based finishes and water-based finishes. It's the best of both worlds. You get the fast drying times of the water. You get the easy cleanup of the water. You get the low VOC of the water. Most hybrids are 50 grams per liter or less. Like I said, wall paint basically. If you can handle the smell of wall paint, you can handle the smell of a hybrid. It goes away very quickly. But it also has that durability and great finish look that an oil provides. And these hybrids have absolutely taken over the market with kitchen cabinet painting, door painting, windows, furniture, all that stuff. There is a fourth option. It's not a DIY option though. Lacquers. Lacquers are wonderful looking finishes. They look absolutely amazing. The problem with lacquers though is they're a higher VOC than even oil-based finishes, and they tend to be brittle. It's something I used to use back when I would do new construction, commercial, and it's just something I'm not going to put my body through anymore these days, so I stay away from them at all costs. And they don't brush, they don't roll. You have to spray a lacquer to get a good finish. So again, not a DIY friendly product. So I'm going to just tell you which one's my favorite right away. Right off the bat, Benjamin Moore Advanced is what I use on all of my client projects. It's a hybrid by Benjamin Moore. It sprays great, it rolls great, it touches up great, it brushes great. It does everything wonderful. I usually spray this with my Cap Spray Titan 115. It's an HVLP sprayer, and I thin it down by 20%, and that doesn't hurt the finish or the durability of it. It allows me to spray it really as a fine atomization. And the beauty of this then too is I can touch it up when I'm done, and it blends right in with that spray. A little bit of brush touch-up work if I need to. It typically is dry to the touch within 1 to 2 hours, depending on humidity outside. In a Minnesota winter, it's going to be dry a lot faster. In a humid Minnesota summer, it's going to be a little bit slower. And I can get 2 top coats on in a single day, versus oils would often take overnight to dry. So I'd spray once, go home, come back the next day, spray again, go home, you know. It drug the project out longer. So these can go a lot faster. And Advanced just has the best look. It's got a reasonable price point, it touches up well, and it applies great. Number 2 on my list is Insulex Cabinet Coat. This is a wonderful product, again owned by Benjamin Moore. I typically go with Advance, but I have used Insulex in my own home and I absolutely love it. Never had a problem with it. It touches up, it sprays, it rolls, it brushes. You're not gonna go wrong with either of these products. Another one I've used a few times, this is more of your budget. The Behr Urethane Alkyd Satin Enamel, another hybrid by Behr. You can get at any Home Depot, accessible to almost everyone probably watching this video. The durability is not quite the same as Advance. I've used this in turns, I've used it on budget homes, and I like it. I don't have a problem with it, but I would choose Advance or Cabinet Coat ideally over it. It's, like I said, it just doesn't have that same look, and it's a little bit less durable, I've noticed. So after these 3, there are a few others that I really like that I just don't have on hand at the moment. Sherwin-Williams has Emerald, and they have 2 different kinds of Emerald, and you have to pay attention which one you're getting. You have Emerald Wall Paint, and they have their Emerald Hybrid Enamel. The Emerald Hybrid Enamel looks great. It's one of the more expensive hybrids you can get, and it's, in my opinion, just about on par with the Advance. It's more like the Cabinet Coat. If I were comparing them, I'd take the Advance over the Emerald. I've used Emerald probably on 10 different homes by now, and I like it. I just prefer Advance. Last but not least on the list would be the Valspar Door and Trim. It's really on par with your Behr. It's great hybrid enamel. It's just not as good as your Advance, your Cabinet Coat, or your Sherwin-Williams Emerald. Those are my picks, 5 picks for the hybrids. And with these hybrids on the market, again, there's just no reason to be using an oil in your home. There's no reason to be settling for a water when you can get the benefits of the oil and the benefits of water in one hybrid. Next, I want to touch on the primers. So Benjamin Moore Advance has a primer called Advance. It's a fine primer, but the problem is its adhesion isn't quite what it should be. Even the local reps will tell you, everyone, it's kind of become commonly known that Advance primer needs a little bit of work. My number 1 choice for primer is Zinsser Smart Prime. This is a hybrid primer. So again, you get all the benefits of water. You know, the fast dry, soap and water cleanup, low odor. I believe this is even less than the 50 grams per liter. And like it says right on here, they label it well, the performance of oil. What's nice about Zinsser Smart Prime is it actually blocks tannins in wood really well. Not perfectly, but really well. The best you can get without going to a true oil. And what those tannins are, if you're painting oak cabinets and it kind of bleeds through this brown color, if you're using a standard water-based primer, it'll bleed through, no matter how many coats you put on. So what I do is I actually thin Smart Prime down by about 20%. I spray it on. You can brush or roll. If you're brushing or rolling, you don't need to thin it down. I thin in order to spray with an HVLP system. But if you get any of those tannins bleeding through, I actually keep a can of Kills oil base spray on hand. If I spray out a whole kitchen, there might be 2 or 3 spots where the tannins bleed through, and I will shoot them with a little bit of oil primer, and it ends up being a 2-second shot here, 3-second shot here, and a 2-second shot here. So that's, you know, 5 to 10 seconds of spraying an oil versus a whole kitchen of spraying oil. And then I just sand everything down and move over to my top coats. Insulex, again owned by Benjamin Moore, makes a great primer, sticks. This is a great general purpose primer. I've used it on plenty of kitchens. I use this in my own home, like I said. These are the 2 I used in my home because I wanted to try it out. I did this years ago before I had ever used it. I want to make sure I knew it in my own home first. And sticks is held up. I have a bunch of kids, pets, everything. I've got no issues with the finish in my home. Last is your budget here, Kills 2 all-purpose. I've used this in a lot of like rentals, flips, stuff like that, where I need to spray the ceilings, the walls, the woodwork, and the cabinets, and I will end up spraying everything. Everything. It's a good budget compared to these guys. They're gonna be a little bit more expensive. You're gonna get a little bit less adhesion, but you're gonna save some money. It does sand nicely. It does give a nice top coat, and it looks pretty good. But again, I wouldn't use this if budget isn't a concern. So the last thing I wanted to go over is sheen. And sheen is really a personal preference. In today's finishes, whether you go with a matte finish, a satin, a semi-gloss, or a gloss, they're all gonna perform wonderfully. They're gonna be equally durable. They're all gonna clean well. They're gonna touch up well. But there is a few rules of thumb to follow here. The higher sheen you go, the more obvious your touch-ups are gonna be. So if you do ding a door and you have to go in with a little brush and touch it up, it's gonna stand out more the higher sheen if you have a semi-gloss or a gloss. The lower sheens tend to touch up easier. That being said, 99% of all the cabinets I do are satin. I personally think semi-gloss is too shiny and it overwhelms people when they do their whole kitchen in that. Gloss is drastically too shiny. And matte finish just isn't enough for cabinets. It looks like wall paint, even though it is more durable, and it just doesn't have that lustrous look of a satin finish. So my number one choice, if I'm painting kitchen cabinets, would be to prime them with Smart Prime and top coat them with Benjamin Moore Advanced. Satin. I know I have a quart of semi-gloss here, but satin. My second choice would be Insulex Sticks, the primer with the Insulex cabinet coat. Other choices that would be on par with these, like I said, would be Sherwin-Williams Emerald hybrid. And for the budget, I'd go Kills with Bear or Valspar. And those should get you through any scenario. All of these are either hybrids or water-based here, and they're all gonna brush, they're all gonna roll good, and they're all gonna spray good. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. And remember, if you're looking for more information about painting kitchen cabinets, or you want to know where to buy these, you want to know more about sprayers, anything like that, just look in the description below. Got links to everything down there. Till next time.